Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. Inside this box we have 3 slabs that I just got returned to me. 2 of them are mine, and 1 of them is my brother-in-law's. We submitted these 3 books for the George Perez Signature Series signing event that CGC had scheduled. Unfortunately, due to George Perez's declining health, the Signature Series event was canceled. And additionally, unfortunately, shortly thereafter, George Perez passed away. George Perez was a legend in the comic book world and will be sorely missed. So I am very disappointed that our community has lost such a phenomenal talent. Once CGC had canceled the signing event, they had given people who had submitted the option of either having their books returned to them completely at CGC's cost. You could transition your submission over to other signing events that were taking place if you wanted to, or you could just have CGC go ahead and grade them for you. And you had the option of taking advantage of the George Perez special label that was being made available for the signing event. In addition to all that, apparently an offer that was made to me that was not made to everybody is I was offered a $5 reduction in grading costs per book. So instead of costing $24 per book, it costs $19 per book. I asked somebody who took advantage of just getting their books graded, and they said they weren't given that offer. The only reason I think I might have been given that offer is because they basically got to my submission last. I think I was absolutely one of the last people to get their submission, to have arrangements made for their submission, because there have been people that have gotten their books back months ago, and I'm just now getting my books back at the end of June 2022. All right, that's all the backstory. Let's talk about what we're going to do in this video. First, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at video that I made of these 3 books when they were raw, before I submitted them to CGC. We're going to assess the books for any flaws, any defects, any damage, anything that we think might affect the book's grade negatively. Then we're going to give our best guess for what we think the grades from CGC will be. I'll tell you mine and you'll keep yours in your head at home. Then, once we've assessed the books, we'll do the unboxing. We'll take them out and we'll see what the actual grades from CGC are. Hopefully we come really close, and that'll be the end of it. If I'm too far off in my guess, what I'll likely do is I will do a little post-mortem analysis. I will take a look at the book in its slab and see if I can't reverse engineer why CGC gave the books the grades that they did. All right, I think that's all clear. Let's go ahead and start off right now by taking a look at these 3 books when they were raw. First up, we have JLA Avengers issue number 1. This book looks really great. You're going to have a tough time finding any problems with this book. It's never been read. It's never been opened. That spine is perfect, not cracked at all. There's never been any impact damages. There's no scratches. The manufacturing on it looks really good. Yeah, it's just generally a really nice book. To tell you what I like to do is I like to take my books and put them underneath overhead lighting and really bounce some light right off the cover. Those hot spots right there, they'll really do a good job showing you if there are any flaws, any kind of like scratches or divots or tears or anything like that. But as you can continue to see, this book looks really great. In fact, part of me thinks that this book has potential to be a 9.9 candidate, maybe a 10 candidate, but maybe a 9.9, but I never expect those, so I'm just going with the 9.8. Next up, we have Tales of the Teen Titans, issue number 44. This book is not in perfect condition. You can definitely see already many of the flaws that are there along the spine. We'll get a much better look at them when we turn the angle here. This is a tough, dark
cover. Really shows up all these color breaking spine ticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maybe, 11, that one in the DC that goes out there pretty far. Now, these books are all going to get pressed, so a lot of the issues that this book has, you can see little creasing, little gnarliness where it's been handled there along the cover. A lot of these things are going to get fixed with the press, and so this book is going to get helped a lot after being pressed, but it is not going to get rid of those color-breaking spine ticks no matter what. You go to the back here and you're like, this book looks pretty good. The pages are uneven there. I'm hoping that whatever is not due to poor manufacturing will be fixed with a press. So I'm not too worried about that. But the back of this book looks really good. Even the back of the spine looks good. You don't notice the ticks nearly as much, but they're there in general. No, this book looks pretty decent from the back, and a press will fix what doesn't look good. I think the spine ticks in the front are the major problem, so my best guess is that this is going to get an 8.5. The final book today is The Infinity Gauntlet, issue number 1. Now, this is also a really dark cover, but you can see I don't really see anywhere near the same flaws. Now, there is a little something right there. Yeah, that's hard to miss. That corner is not great, but I've seen books that get 9/8 have worse corners. It's not great, but it's not too bad either. But there's that one spine tick. You all saw it. It's already gone away. That's basically going to hurt this book and not get it the 9.8. But the rest of this book looks really, really great. You know, I remind you once again that this cover is really, really dark, and I don't see problems. And you see all these areas that I'm hitting with the bright light there. I mean, some of those little things are pressable defects that will be taken care of, but I don't see really any other scratches, any marks, any other problems. Same here with on the back. Maybe that corner looks like it could get flattened out with a press a little bit. That'll help that a lot. Now, you see there's that line there going from the bottom up through the advertisement there. We'll see it more on the other side, by the way. This edge looks great. This corner looks great. You see there's the rest of that line going right there to the spine of the book. I looked up other copies of this book in 9/8, and that seems to be a manufacturing issue. I see that mark on other books that have got 9/8, so I don't think that's going to hurt the grade. So I think this is a pretty great looking book that could get a 9.6.
All right, so now you've had the opportunity to take a look at the books when they were raw. I have told you what grades I thought they're going to get. You have in your mind what grades you think they deserve. Now it's time to do the unboxing and see what actual grades they received. I'm really, really excited. I've been getting a lot of submissions back from CGC recently. In fact, I still have 2 submissions that are currently in the mail on their way back to me. So it's been a lot of fun for me to get my books back from CGC. One of the things that I always like to do is I like to kind of assess how good of a job CGC does with packing. I feel that they are less than stellar with their packing jobs of small numbers of books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so books. So let's take a look and see what we think about how they did with this packing job. And I would say it's pretty good. They're moving around in there a little bit, but this box is filled with bubble wrap, so there isn't much way that these slabs could get much impact damage or really move around enough, I think, to be significantly damaged. But you never know until you know. All right, so there's only 3 slabs in this box, so there's lots of bubble wrap. We'll put that off to the side. Now I want to be careful not to see the grades before I reveal them to you. So let me see. Okay, these are the back of the books right there. Okay, so I'm going to work out of my peripheral vision. I'm going to pull out this first one. I'm pulling them out at random, obviously. And let's see what this first one is. The first one is, now this is my brother-in-law's books. This is the JLA Avengers issue number 1. I thought this book was really, really beautiful, and I wholly expected it to get a 9.8. Oh, one thing I might not have mentioned, all of these books did receive a press. Basically, they really didn't need it. Like this one didn't need it, but we just erred on the side of caution and had them pressed. Okay, so I expect a 9.8 here. Let's show you what it got. Okay, and now let me see. Did it get the 9.8? Yes, it did. Very, very good. So as expected, this got a 9.8. You know, this one wasn't very hard to guess at because it was in such great condition. So this one wasn't much of a challenge. It's the next two that are a little bit, that was noisy, that are going to be a little bit more difficult to nail. But so far, I'm 1 for 1. It's important to be able to recognize a 9.8 when you see one, because there's little worse than expecting a 9.8 and not getting it. But let's go ahead and move on to the next book. This next book, Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44. This is the first of the two books that belong to me. This is a great book. I hope that I did better on this grade than I expected, but I was also kind of like optimistic and hopeful, in an optimistic and hopeful mood when I graded these originally, so hopefully it's not worse than I thought as well. But I thought this would be an 8.5. Let's go ahead and show you what I got. Okay, let's see. What grade did I get? 9.2! Sweet. That's awesome and quite surprising. Now, the way I see it, I want to nail the grades. I've said this before. Generally speaking, I'm very okay with being one spot off, you know, one grade increment off, either in this instance, a 9.0 or an 8.0. Being 2 grade increments off means that I've got something to learn here, but I'm still okay with being in that range. So I guess I was a little bit hard on this book, but that is totally fine with me, because now I am super excited at the 9.2 that I got on this book. Wow. Honestly, I would have thought that this was going to be a 9.0 at best, but I'm very, very happy with the 9.2. All right, that brings us to the last book that we will be talking about today in this video. And it's one, we'll see. This is Infinity Gauntlet, issue number 1. Part of me is like, is there some world in which there's a miracle in which this comes back a 9.8? I don't think so. I will just be very, very happy if it gets the 9.6 that I expected. So let's see what I got on this book. Let's show you first. Okay? Am I going to be happy or sad? Happy or sad? Ooh, a little sad. A little sad. I was expecting a 9.6 on this, but they gave me a 9.4. I'm a little surprised by that. You know, I'm going to check the grader's notes and I'll put them, you know, down here or over here or something like that, a picture of them over here if I have them, and see what they have to say about them. Maybe there's something in there that could enlighten, but I mean, this book has flaws. It's not a 9.8. A grader would have had to basically make a mistake to give it a 9.8. I am surprised that it got a 9.4 though, because it's really I don't see much by way of flaws. The fact that this one and this one are only 1 grade increment apart from each other, that I'm having a hard time with, because this book clearly has more defects than this book. But I will check the grader's notes on both if there's any and see if that is enlightening at all. But I think they were a little bit hard on me on this book. Yeah, man. Okay, well, so it goes. I wasn't that far off, and in a lot of ways, I kind of stand by my 9.6 assessment of this book. I think possibly on a different day with a different grader, this might have gotten the 9.6, but so it goes. I'm disappointed, obviously, but I can't be too upset. It's not like I expected it to be a 9.8 and it came back a 9.4. I expected it to be a 9.6 and it came back a 9.4. And the differences at those grades are highly subjective. So I can't get like too uptight about it. But yeah, admittedly, I'm a bit disappointed. Well, what about you? What do you think? Did you nail your grades? Did you expect what I got, or did you expect what I thought I would get? Let me know down in the comments how you did with your guesses. I'm always very interested in feedback on how you did down in the comments. As well, if you like this type of content, I really enjoy doing it. Likes let me know that you like it, and so likes encourage me to keep doing it. So please, I request that you hit the like button if you do indeed like this content. And as always, if you haven't subscribed already, I highly recommend you subscribe and hit the notification bell. I have a lot of videos that are coming out right now that I don't think you're going to want to miss. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.